This is that. That is also called foreshadowing. So last year we made a giant helicopter firework, and the year before that we made a giant tank firework. This year we're going to make a supersized version of this rocket firework. But first, how do these things work, and a quick PSA on the dangers of these. So I was probably around 12 or so, and I was messing with these iconic style missile fireworks. These feature a body or fuselage, some fins, and sometimes a pointy nose cone. Me being a curious little bastard at times would honestly just mess with these when they say do not modify fireworks. I'd modify them anyways. Me and my brother would often sometimes take these fireworks and make super fireworks, and that basically goes how you think I would. We would just tape all the fireworks together and fuse them up to create some spectacular effects. The missile firework was not immune to this, and oftentimes we just overload these with as many fireworks as possible, because if you open these up, sometimes there's a star on top of them that you can take out, and we figured, hey, with this empty void of space, let's just pack more fireworks in there. One of these abominations of aeronautic miscalculations was overloaded by me and ignited. Instead of quickly shooting off, thrusting into the sky, it went sideways and nearly hit one of my dad's friends in the eye, but quickly went right by him and didn't kill him. But it was enough to make me not modify these anymore, because these are pretty dangerous. Now obviously that is totally irrelevant. It's not really even the fireworks' fault because we modified it. But I've been buying these things through the years, and even then using them as normal, I've had some pretty close calls. These things are nowhere near as safe as their stick-based counterparts, and here's why. The biggest flaw is often the launch sequence with these. How these things work is airflow needs to pass over these stabilization fins to keep the rocket tracking on a nearly vertical flight path, but to do that they need to rapidly get up to speed. The instructions indicate that you are to place them on a hard, level surface and light them. If the rocket motor is not capable of having a high impulse at the exact time the missile leaves the launch pad, it could drift a little, as the fins do not have sufficient airflow over them to stabilize during launch. And let's be honest, cheap Chinese fireworks are not the greatest thing when it comes to quality control. But what is exciting is these are highly adrenaline-fueled launches, because I am always terrified of these things and never really sure where they're going to go. But that's why if you look at model rockets, they actually have launch lugs on them to guide them off the pads. The launch rods you get with model rockets, they're designed to actually give the rocket time to get to speed, so airflow can stabilize the rockets and it can go on a controlled trajectory, so you can actually aim where the rocket generally ends up. With the long stick stabilized rockets, they fit in a pipe, and you can actually launch them at an angle so you can control where the debris field ends up with those things. You can put launch lugs on these fireworks and get the same effect. So now I can control the elevation for which we're aiming to get it away from us and away from any pedestrians, vehicles, property, or anything else that you don't want to hit with the screaming rocket from the sky. Hey, does anyone remember that game? I think it was called Jarts. Oh. I would not want to get hit in the head with this. These are made of crappy plastic. They sit in the environment, they do not degrade, and they pollute a lot. The nose cone and tail assembly are usually just cheap plastic, which will end up all over the place, unlike the stick rockets, which are usually wood, paper, and bentonite clay. Now that my hands are clean of this mess, let's make a giant rocket. Now I'm definitely hoping to retard the speed of this rocket because it's made out of flimsy styrofoam. So I'm definitely having these braces out here, which will definitely keep the fins from shaking around too much and fluttering and then tearing off, making the rocket go in uncontrollable directions. So I'm hoping this slows it down. We're gonna launch this rocket tomorrow, and we're using a G80, which is like the largest you can launch without sort of like a level of rocketry certification. So I'm trying to figure out, is this rocket going to blow up or from like fluttering or something, or is this thing just gonna like go up like 10 feet and hit the ground because there's not enough thrust? Then I'm looking at this rocket. That's a big rocket. But I'm also looking at like data to see how much, you know, these rockets weigh. That's a 2-pound rocket. We're probably gonna weigh around maybe around like 4 pounds. So if I get to 500 feet in that, it's gonna be incredible looking. If it doesn't, you know, disintegrate in the launch pad or the fins rip off on, you know, the ascent from the extreme speed. Only one way to find out. It's too big. Too big. Hey, we should launch it out of your truck. We got the parachute. Because this is a test launch after all, we do not intend to destroy the rocket because we're going to do that later. But I have to make sure everything works and is okay before we obliterate the rocket with fireworks. We have a little high meter on too because I'm really curious to see how high it's going to go today. So I have this little springy pad.
That's clever.
Holds that in. Roll that. Sweet. When the rocket reaches apogee, I will flick this upwards. Like this.
That actually.
Watch, I'm gonna do it.
Enough thrust?
And then that comes out. We got alligator clips, we got a battle-born lithium battery, we got a small firework rocket. I'm gonna test this janky rocket launch setup here. Sounds like it works. Step away, run away. Nice. All right, we're good to go. It's so giant. All right, I'm hooking the ignition ports up. All right, product placement time. This is a battle-born lithium battery. Actually, this isn't the video that they really paid for. These batteries are going to my tiny house. Anyways, I have them right now. I'm super excited about these things. We're going to use to launch the rocket because on the box it says use a 12-volt lead-acid battery to make sure you have enough amps to fire the rocket. This has got more than enough amps to launch that rocket. So how this is going to go, I'm going to touch this. It's going to take off. And when the rocket reaches apogee, I'm going to flip the throttle switch forward on my controller, which will open that latch and release the parachute and hopefully bring it down in one piece. And I mean, hopefully it launches, you know, vertically too, because we have no launch rail. We're doing this like you get on those plastic missiles to see if it works at a bigger scale. Are you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Oh! Parachute, come on, work. Yeah! Woo! Success! It didn't go very high. We might need to get 2 inches on this thing. Parachute, come on, work. Yeah! Woo! Yeah, that was the wind that took it over too, because it basically went like the wind would push it.
Look how cool that was.
That was awesome. I think we're great. No damage to this. Oh wow, look at that. I knew that the cable would eventually ratchet its way through the rocket body, and that's exactly what it did. Because like this is foam, soft foam. I have no shock cord, so it literally used the styrofoam as the shock cord to slow the rocket down. Let's see what maximum altitude is. Maximum altitude was 123 feet. Didn't look very high because the rocket's so big. And man, that was slow, but I think we can handle more thrust. let's go ahead and go to the real launch. We're gonna add 2 rocket motors to this thing and we're gonna launch it really high.
Wow.
Is it really draggy?
Yeah. Oh gosh, that makes it hard to walk.
Oh, don't mind me, just putting fireworks into a bigger firework. We have a G motor and an F motor to get more power. It's a big rocket, big 4-pound rocket with a lot of surface area and drag.
Looks good to me.
Alright, the rocket is set up, we painted it. Thanks to Scotty, he hooked us up with a bunch of bottle rockets. We peppered this thing with just extra bottle rockets just because it'll be fun and cool. Let's go ahead and light it, we're gonna launch it right now. Ready to do the launch? Got the trusty Battleborn battery. All I gotta do is hook this up to this thing and we'll go into space. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I hit it. Let's see what happens. Oh, that was awesome. Three, 2, 1. GoPro's in the lake somewhere. Oh no! Oh, that's epic. I don't think we're gonna get that footage back. Woo! That was awesome. So that's how you have a 4th of July. All right, let's go debrief and check out this stuff. All right, let's go try to find the camera. Oh, it's not cleaning all that up. That took a while. Well, the giant rocket was a success. It looks like you can actually scale up these things to ridiculous proportions and launch them with the exact same methods the small ones have, and it works. Now, obviously, this thing's really dangerous. So I really like to mitigate as many risks as possible when it comes to launching this thing. That's why I use remote ignition to light the fuse on the firework, so I don't have to deal with any fuses. But for ensuring anything else, there's Policygenius, our sponsor for this video. For me, there's tons of things I have to worry about, whether it be these rockets flying, my planes landing, or my house exploding and having the proper insurance to cover all of the damages. I like to think I have all the best insurance policies for all my needs, especially life insurance when it comes to my dangerous activities and hobbies. Shopping around for insurance can be a daunting task. There's literally limitless options to look through and pick from. With Policygenius, you can get personalized quotes in just minutes. Basically how it works is you fill out a questionnaire, it asks you a bunch of questions, and then they help guide you to figure out what kind of insurance you need, how much you need, and what do you need specifically for you, so you don't end up overpaying. Policygenius makes it easy to compare quotes from over a dozen top insurers all in one place. You can save 50% or more on life insurance by comparing quotes with Policygenius. And you can save up to $1,300 or more per year on life insurance by using Policygenius to compare policies. When you're ready to apply, Policygenius will handle the paperwork and scheduling for free. Best of all, they never sell your information to other companies, and there's no hidden fees. Getting started is easy. Head over to policygenius.com/Sripol. Put that text here. Well, that was another smashing successful 4th of July special. So we've done the giant tank fireworks, the giant helicopter spinner fireworks, and the big rocket missile firework. There's another 4th of July next year, so let me know what you guys want to see in the comments, because I mean, I could do this again in the desert. I really want to do this again in the desert, like really, really big, like 30 foot tall or something stupid like that with a real rocket launch certificate. But we could try some other firework suggestions that you guys can leave in below.